Hey, what's up guys? I got GP here, and today I got a video for you guys. A pretty nice video, one I wanted to make for a while. So we're going to do a Batman Arkham series boss fight tier list. I'm excited to do this because I played the games, all of them, like millions of times each, and I'm like a bunch of times. And I really like the boss fights, and I definitely wanted to do this because I've saw some other people on YouTube do it before, but I never watched them because I want to make my own tier list, and I don't want to watch their videos and make some kind of subconscious decision on choice on if they put it here, I should put it here, and yeah. So anyway, yeah, I just want to get started right away. But this is the Batman Arkham boss fight tier list from all the games from Arkham Asylum, Arkham Origins, Arkham City, and Arkham Knight. So, okay, so I made a tier list. So we have Electrocutioner tier for people that are actually just completely dog shit, super bad boss fights, and then we have a don't count tier list because there's some boss fights here that aren't boss fights, like the Abercrombie twins. I don't consider them boss fights, or these Titan fights. I don't consider them actual boss fight. They're more like stronger enemies you face, but I wouldn't consider them boss fights. So I'm gonna put them in a don't count tier list. But if I had to tier these, I'd put them like C or D because they're not really good boss fights in my opinion. So that's just for that. But we'll just start in order from the beginning. So right here we have, I think this is some of these pictures are kind of hard to see. I think this is the first Venom boss fight you have in Arkham Asylum, right? So I'm gonna put that in don't count. I'm trying to look at the picture. Yeah, this looks like a Venom boss fight guy, so I'm just not gonna count that. It's don't count. Like a Titan henchman. Sorry, like a Titan henchman, Venom, whatever. Scarecrow. The Scarecrow boss fights in Arkham Asylum were super cool, revolutionary. Everyone knows how you think your game crashed because of the Scarecrow, and the build up to the boss fight's pretty cool. The boss fight itself isn't really that hard. I mean, you're just kind of fighting enemies, but the whole aesthetic of trying to dodge his light and everything is really cool. I think Scarecrow's very memorable too. Playing Arkham Asylum, you definitely remember Scarecrow. I put this low A, but it's not really challenging as things. It's not very difficult. I guess for I guess it kind of is. If you're you're just playing the game for the first time. I put this in A. I think it's a good boss fight for sure. Bane, I would put B. So Bane's boss fight in this is Arkham Asylum. It kind of just felt like any Titan / henchman boss fight, except it's Bane, so they're gonna amp it up and make it a little bit more challenging. So it kind of earns the B spot, but it's not really fun. It's not very memorable. And for me, out of all the boss fights in Arkham Asylum, it was kind of average to me. I wouldn't put this in A. I wouldn't think this is above Scarecrow, that's just my opinion though. I think this is a high B for Bane. So yeah, that's just me. Another don't count is another Titan Venom henchman thing. I don't count these, bro. They're not real boss fights in my opinion. If I had to put these in a tier though, I'd put D, because it's not that fun if you're putting it on a boss fight tier list, Killer Croc. Killer Croc is A. Killer Croc is A because the horror factor, he really nailed the horror factor of Arkham Asylum. Running away from him during batarangs. I think everyone's died this guy at least once because they weren't sure what to do. And just hearing the music amp up and you don't know which way it's coming from sometimes is kind of scary. So he has all the elements. He's scary. You have to be patient. You have to use your batarang, be quick-witted. It's pretty fun too. I actually enjoyed this section. So I'd put him in A because he's also really memorable as well. So definitely A. Yeah, this is a solid A for sure. Not S. I know what's S. These are just A's. Another Titan Venom boss fight thing. I'm just putting some don't count here. I don't count it. Poison Ivy. S. Poison Ivy's boss fight in Arkham Asylum is probably the best boss fight in Arkham Asylum. It's definitely challenging in my opinion compared to the other boss fights. Poison Ivy had a big role in the video games too, in Arkham Asylum. I guess all the video games really. Really good boss fight, really challenging. If you're not really paying attention, you're just kind of autopiloting, she can really just kill you out of nowhere. It's actually kind of insane. The whole scenery and the whole set piece is cool. She's on a giant flower trying to shoot spores at you and vines, and she has henchmen in the build up to it, where the vines teasing you to get to her. All of it's crazy. She's a really interesting boss fight. Definitely S. She's really fun, really memorable to fight against. 100% good boss fight. What is this? Is this another Titan Venom henchman guy? Is it Arkham Origins? I can't remember what this is. I think I'm just blanking on this. I think it's like a Venom henchman guy. Titan Venom, Titan henchman. I don't know what to call them. I'm just gonna put in a don't count tier list. If it's something else, let me know, but I don't remember. We'll just move on though. Joker's boss fight in Arkham Asylum. It's like low B. It might be C. I don't think for a final boss, this wasn't that good. But it's gonna be B. Like for a final boss, it wasn't that good because it's pretty easy. You just dodge his claws in the beginning, and then you fight his henchman, and you just grapple him down and just punch him. It's really easy for a final boss fight. Poison Ivy was like the final boss of the game in my opinion, and then Joker was just kind of there. But it's B over C because the ending's really cool, where Batman just like punches him in the face with explosive gel and tells him like he'll never let Joker get away with anything. Like the story and at the end of it was really cool and badass. And that's what gives it a B. But if it wasn't for that, I think it'd be a C. It wasn't that good of a final boss fight. Come on, be real with me. Like for real, be real with me, guys. Like y'all, like you know, like this was not a good final boss fight in my opinion. Like it was fun, and I guess it was kind of satisfying in the end because the game was just magnificent. But for final boss, meh. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't count the Abercrombie twins or a Titan Venom. I hate like the Titan henchmen heavy guys. These are all like C or D tier. Like these are all just like, if I were to have to rank them as boss fights, just keep that in mind. Like all probably C or D. Like probably D. Yeah, they're all probably just D tier. Like they're just fun, but they're not boss fights in my opinion. Grundy was like the first real boss fight of Arkham City, right? I'd say for first boss fight, it's like A. I liked Grundy. Grundy was a great surprise. The surprise factor when I first saw him was cool. There was foreshadowing earlier in the game when the henchmen are looking at the billboard of Solomon Grundy and talking about him, so that was kind of cool. This is definitely a tier boss fight because it was kind of challenging in a sense. The aesthetic was really cool. Penguin being there and messing with you was kind of funny. The whole aspect, like you wouldn't expect Solomon Grundy to be in that section with the Penguin. I think the build was cool. The ending climax was great. The boss fight itself had multiple phases, which is cool. Pretty challenging. I'd say this is a good boss fight. This is definitely a good boss fight. Ra's al Ghul. Okay, I'd say Ra's al Ghul, but I know it's Raish. I guess it could be either or. But I like saying Ra's al Ghul because I've said that since I was a kid, and I stopped even though I know his name's Raish. I know it pisses people off, but it's Ra's. I'm calling him Ra's. All right, it's Ra's al Ghul. Anyway, S tier boss fight. Ra's al Ghul was one of the highlights of Arkham City. One of the many highlights of Arkham City. But the boss fight itself was so good. Like, the whole aesthetic of just being like in this different world and you're fighting these sand ninjas and Ra's al Ghul's right there. Like, and then he like deflect his blades and then it transforms back into the other world where Talia's trying to like convince you. And Batman's just like, I can't do that, Talia. Like, I can go on and on and on. I know I'm just rambling, but this boss fight was so fun. Multiple phases too. You had to really make use of your gadgets and like counter a lot and like like blade dodge takedowns. Like this boss fight tested a lot of your skill up to that point in the game. So it had that challenging factor. So I think Poison Ivy is like the most difficult so far out of all these boss fights. So Ra's al Ghul wasn't really that. I guess for a first playthrough could be really challenging. But yeah, like it's really fun. Like it really tested your gadgets, your like gliding and beginning. Like before you fight him, you have to like go through those like phases and like glide around like this sand world, and like then you fight him, and then it's just really well done. Like it's all really well done. I could go on forever, but it was a really well done boss fight. I guess I should say this now. Like I played these games hundreds of times, so knowing what's difficult and what's not is kind of blurred to me because all these are easy for me because I played these games hundreds of times. But I'm trying to see from like a first person, like someone that's played the game for the first time, trying to see from their perspective what would be difficult and what wouldn't be. So, Mr. Freeze, like from Arkham City is like a B. Like I know a lot of people like this boss fight, but in my opinion, I'm just joking. It's obviously an S. Literally one of the best boss fights I've ever played in any game. It's what can I say that hasn't been said already? The detail. Like when he freezes the air, when you I think it's when you glide kick him, he'll freeze the air, and then your cape will be like icy frozen, and that like details like that's so unneeded, but Rocksteady loves their detail, and that is so cool. But the actual boss fight itself, like there's so many ways to go about it. You can line launcher takedown, silent takedown, glide takedown, use the environment like explosive gel takedown, use the electrical wirings on the ground, floor grade takedown. There's so many ways you can take him out, and you have to do something new every time. And it's just like the whole big battlefield, and like it's kind of scary because he's walking around slowly, but like it's still scary because you have to figure out a new tactic, and all the while he's like trying to follow you and find you. So this is one of the best boss fights of all time. This is amazing, and Mr. Freeze being like an amazing character in the Arkham games, it just tops it all off. And I guess the build to the boss fight is kind of stupid. Like he kind of kills you for no reason. Like Batman just like, you know, like they were just gonna fight because Batman wasn't gonna find his wife at first. It was kind of weird knowing the circumstances, but the boss fight itself makes up for everything. So it's such a good, well done boss fight. Literally perfect. All right, I'm not gonna like go into detail, but you know it's literally perfect. This is, if you need a perfect boss fight, Mr. Freeze is it. Next, this doesn't count. Also, none of this is ordered. S tier might be ordered. I might order it in the end. Right now it's ordered. I think it goes like this, but I don't think the other tier is gonna be ordered. That's my opinion. I don't even know if there will be a C or D. We'll see as we go on, but Ra's al Ghul. I mean, not Ra's al Ghul. Clayface. Clayface, I'm gonna be honest. Would it be a B tier? Would it be bad? Would it be bad to put him in B? As a final boss goes, he wasn't that good. No. I put him low A. I put him low A because the whole twist aspect was insanely well done. Like, who expected Clayface? You know, they foreshadowed him throughout the game, but no one expected Clayface. I didn't expect Clayface. Great intro to him. Cool arena. Great boss. It was a fun boss fight, I would say. Like, you kind of just throw freeze pellets at him and, like, you kind of make him roll into those TNT corners and he blows up. But his attacks and stuff were really cool to see. I think he was a good boss fight, but he's like a low A, maybe like high B. I almost put him in C, because for a final boss too, like final bosses like mean a lot to me, so. But he was good. I'd put him in A. Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter's almost a don't count tier, but he's an Arkham Batman villain, so I'm gonna put him on the tier list, but I'm gonna put him like in C. Mad Hatter's gonna be the first C. Why? Because it's really easy. You just fight Henchman, and when he spawns, you go over there and punch him, and then you ground take down him, I think. This might be D. No, I know it's D. This is C. Like, this is not a very good boss fight at all. The whole aesthetic was really cool. The side mission was really fun and really interesting. I think Mad Hatter is a really interesting Batman villain. Underrated, in my opinion. But the whole boss fight itself was not that well done. But I would put it in C. Yeah, there's not much to say about it. You're just fighting goons, like, in this weird, you know, like, reality warped world, I guess, that Mad Hatter puts you in. But, yeah, not that great. Deadshot, Arkham City Deadshot's a D. This is stupid. I mean, you do the side quests and then he's on the rooftop and you just go from corner to corner until you're under him and you take him down. This is not that hard. Not really a boss fight. I don't really like this at all. This is one of the stupidest side mission boss fights in Arkham City. Yeah, Arkham City, so yep, you're a D. First D, bro. Stupid as fuck. But wait till we get to Arkham Origins, Deadshot. But Two-Face. Is this the courthouse Two-Face or the Catwoman Two-Face? So there's two Two-Face boss fights in Arkham City. The one in the very beginning of the story, which is not that good at all, is actually very shit. But we're gonna count it as the Catwoman. The Catwoman boss fight in Arkham City, I would give it an A. I would actually give the Catwoman side of boss fight where you fight Two-Face at the Iceberg Lounge and stealth mission with Catwoman is very difficult. I think it's one of the more difficult boss fights in the Arkham games. This is like probably right here. Because the thing with Catwoman is her mobility sucks ass. Like, if you're trying to escape, it's so difficult. And like when you take out all his henchmen, because there's henchmen around him when you're doing this Predator section, you're not really fighting him hand to hand. When you take out all his henchmen, you go after him, more henchmen spawns. You kind of have to run away if you're trying to run away, and then at that point, it's still difficult. This is and if you die, you have to do it all over again. It takes a while. Like, this is a challenging boss fight. It could be very annoying. But I think that, like, adds them, it being memorable, like, that much more memorable. Like, it's a really fun boss fight, in my opinion. I like the Predator boss fights, and this is really well done. That's why I don't like Deadshot, because I guess it's kind of a Predator boss fight, but not really at all. It was, like, very low-end garbage, so yeah. Harley Quinn and Harley Quinn's Revenge. I put this in the don't count here. What is this? Like, you just fight henchmen, right? Like robots and stuff. This was, yeah. Same for the Robin. Same for the Batman. Like these are all like maybe D tier. These are all D tier if you had to put them. I just don't count them because not really boss fights. These henchman guys aren't really boss fights, but I guess you put them in D. But I'm putting them in a don't count tier because I just personally don't count them. Yeah, okay. Killer Croc, Arkham Origins. Very solid, good boss fight. I would put this in A. Arkham Origins had a really cool aesthetic with its story. It definitely had its own, like, identity. Excuse me. And, like, for a first boss fight in the very first mission of the game, it was a really good introduction. It was really challenging if you were, like, playing it for the first time. And, like, beating him in the end, it was a really cool cutscene. And it was challenging in a way because, you know, like, there's henchmen around him, too. I could see people dying at this if they're just kind of playing the game for the first time. For the first boss fight, very good. I would put this in A. I actually think it was a really good boss fight, and I think Killer Croc was very fun to fight against in that first mission. So, yeah, great boss fight. Electrocutioner has his own tier. I wouldn't say it's bad. I mean, he's just a meme, right? But it is bad. I guess Electrocutioner tier is the E tier, A, B, C, D, E, right? Or F, I don't know, whatever you want to say, but I mean, yeah, I guess if he's a boss fight, he's a boss fight, but it's not a boss fight. It's just his own tier. So I think it was cool with the way they did it. Like, I'm not knocking points down for Arkham Origins. I think it was really funny the way they did that. But yeah, Deathstroke in Arkham Origins was my personal favorite boss fight, but I think it's second up for Mr. Freeze because I know Mr. Freeze is just legendary. But Deathstroke is like the best boss fight. I had a save file in Arkham Origins on my Xbox 360 years ago where it would just be Deathstroke, like the beginning of the boss fight, and I would just like, once I beat him, I would just like cancel the game and just go back and do it again. Like, it was that fun. This boss fight was visually amazing to see, especially the third phase where he pulls out his knife or like his katana, and then you have like you counter it and have like those really smooth animations. Like, dude, this boss fight was so good, and like. You'd be like on top with your counters and fighting. It was like fighting like one of the goons, but like times 10. Like, it was really well executed. Arkham Origins did so good with their boss fights, and Deathstroke was such a good example of it. Also, that he's one of my favorite villains is really just helps to it too. Really fun boss fight. I think it was definitely S. I can see arguments for A, but no, this is S. He has multiple phases. The music is so good. I love the music in this goddamn boss fight, bro. Really good. I love this so much. The only gripe I have is it's so early in the game, and then you don't fight him. You see him again later, but it's so early on. It's so disappointing. And then you get the most OP gadget too, the remote claw, like from him too. So this is a great boss. Very fun. I think it's more fun than Mr. Freeze for me. Super enjoyable as a boss fight. I love this so much. Definitely a good boss fight. Copperhead. Copperhead from Arkham Origins actually was a B to me. It was cool and fun. The build-up was kind of nice too, but this is also another case where you're just kind of fighting like henchmen in a way, but it's kind of different with Copperhead because she does have different moves where she kind of like zooms in at you, and like you kind of have to blade dodge, take down her sometimes. Like, it was interesting. I think she was a B. I wouldn't say C. She had more like a challenge in Mad Hatter, I'd say. So yeah, I would say it's a B. Bane on the Royal Hotel. That's an A. Bane's boss fight was great, bro. Arkham Origins had really good boss fights. The legit best boss fights. Arkham Origins, Bane. So this is like before the first time you fight him. Really fun on the hotel. Really great setting. He was challenging, especially with the henchmen. When he charges at you, if you're not prepared, it can definitely mess you up. Yeah, like, and then just a good old-fashioned, like, brawl. This is how I imagine Batman would fight Bane in a real fight. This is really well done. I think this is definitely A. Firefly is S. S, like, right here. Firefly was so well done for no reason, bro. No goddamn reason, bro. The setting was great. The music was amazing. The ending climax was so good, bro. What the heck? Firefly of all people? Are you shitting me? Firefly literally... Like, the phases were cool. The boss fight wasn't that hard. You just kind of glue grenade him and battering him. But, like, he can damage you, like, with, like, the grenades and, like, flamethrower he shoots at you if you're not prepared. And I guess the whole just setting and aspect and music and, like, the build up to it is just so well done. Everything around him is well done. And the boss fight is no joke either. Like, it's really fun. This is a great boss fight. And when you grapple onto him and just fly around the bridge, like, that, like, the whole set piece is great. I think Garfield Lynn's, Firefly, he was really well done. Such a good villain. God. Bane, okay, Arkham Origins had hits, bro. Arkham Origins hit different with their boss fights. Arkham final boss fight, Bane was the best final boss fight of any Arkham game, period. There's no, I don't think there's a debate about that. Scary as fuck to fight in that maze-like prison, or like room you're in the, at Blackgate. And then like, you have to like smoke grenades and your detective mode will go out, you have to unjam it, and you hear his footsteps, and you have to try to get behind him or just like, yeah, like silent takedown him. He was well done. This is a scary boss fight, and he does damage. Does a lot of damage to you if he gets you, and it kind of tests all your like things like stealth, gadgets, using the environment with like the extinguishers. Yeah, and you have like a time limit to kind of beat him. This is a really intense boss fight. I think this is a really well done boss fight. Extremely well done. Great boss fight. Might be in front of Poison Ivy, actually. Yeah, I think it's in front of Poison Ivy. This is a great boss fight. Arkham Origins had 3 S tier boss fights, bro. Don't sleep. Do not sleep on Arkham Origins. It's a great game. Anarchy. Would you count Anarchy as a don't count tier? He throws Molotov cocktails at you, if I remember right. He does. So I guess that's kind of different. I don't know if that's the deciding factor. I'll put him, because he is a Batman villain. He's D, though. Because, I mean, like, the whole setting was just, like, the courthouse, which is, like, kind of cool. But it wasn't as memorable as, I'd say, Mad Hatter. And you're just kind of fighting goons as well. So I'd put him in D. He's kind of in front of Deadshot, though. But he wasn't that memorable of a boss fight, in my opinion. Alright. This guy. Why am I blanking out on her name? Shiva. Lady Shiva. Duh. I'm stupid. Might be D as well. No, it's a C. It's a little bit more challenging than Anarchy because, it's like bladed ninjas. Ninjas with blades. Like, I don't know why I'm saying ninjas with blades, but yeah, like, there's a bunch of ninjas you have to fight. Maybe blade dodge, takedown. She kind of disappears. So it's a little bit more challenging than Anarchy. Still not that memorable, though. A little bit more bland, in my opinion. Mad Hatter's is a little bit more memorable. So I put it behind her. Copperhead was also more memorable. Copperhead might be C. Nah, I like Copperhead. I put her in B. Lady Shiva, like, I love Lady Shiva as like a villain. I think she's a really cool character in the DC universe. But her boss fight here could have been way better, in my opinion. Should have been way better. But that's just me. Deadshot was an A. Deadshot would be like right past Two-Face. Deadshot was the Predator section side mission in Arkham Origins. Really, really well done. Like, he can like ricochet. You see his lasers ricocheting off like walls to get you, which is really cool. And he was just as difficult as Two-Face in the sense that he has goons around him you have to take out first, and then when you take them all out and fight him, more goons spawn in, and then you have to like, you make the decision like, do you have to grapple away before his goons get to you, or do you just try to knock him out and take him out as a boss before the goons can get to you? It's pretty intense. It's a really good boss fight, and the environment has so many things you can do, like explosive gel takedowns on the walls, or floor grade takedowns, vent takedowns, inverted takedowns. So, really fun Predator section boss fight. I think this might be the best Predator section boss fight in the entire series. Really well done. This is a good boss fight. This is Bane's henchman. What was he called? Like the bird? I forget his name. This is a don't count tier. He sucked. Stop it. The DLC in Arkham Origins where you're fighting against Bruce Wayne when he's in training. I forget what it's called. I blank out on it, but this is also don't count tier. It's cool because you have like different kind of gadgets in a sense, but it's not like a real boss fight in my opinion. I would put that there. Mr. Freeze, A tier in Arkham Origins. It's been a while since I played Cold Heart. It's a DLC, but this is really well done. This is challenging. This was a big map. Why did I say it like that? It's like a big stage, and you have to go around different areas and like do different objectives to kind of beat him. It's been a while since I played it, but I remember it being a ton of fun, and I think it was a really good final boss for a DLC. And Mr. Freeze was really well done in this game too. Pretty much that DLC was just ripped straight from the animated series, which is a good thing. So it was a really good boss fight. I'd put him in A. Not much to say. Mr. Freeze just is one of the best villains in the Arkham series, easily. Okay, Arkham Knight. Okay, I guess I'll count the Batmobile fights. This was like D. Yeah, this is D. This is when you fight this helicopter thing in the Batmobile after you kind of save all the Ace Chemical workers, and then you shoot him in the helicopter. Like, it wasn't that fun. Be real, bro. This is kind of stupid and boring. I think it'd be like right here between these two guys. This is a D tier fight. It wasn't that fun. Would not count it. Just like I wouldn't count, what's this guy's name again? Albert? Something Albert? I forget. One of the Joker victims. But, yeah, I would not. Would I put this? Would I count this? I don't think so. He's not any different than, like, these guys. This is a don't count tier. Because when you're fighting him, you just use your, co-op, you know, dual play mode with Robin and just hurt him. Which is kind of cool visually, but it's not really a boss fight in my opinion. Like, he's just a bigger brute you kind of have to take out, so. Man. What's this guy's name? Johnny Charisma. There we go. Would you count this as a boss? Disarming bombs while he sings. It was a really cool set piece, and it was a really cool part of the story. I wouldn't count it as a boss fight, though. I mean, like, I don't know. Maybe, like, what I count for a boss and what I don't count for a boss is there for me, but it's not a boss fight, bro. In my opinion. It's just another challenge in the game. So if I piss you off, good, because I don't really care. Okay, so Cloudburst Tank. I'm just joking. Well, not really. Like, it's not a boss fight, bro. Come on now. Cloudburst Tank. A tier boss fight. A lot of people didn't like the Batmobile sections. I like this. This part was challenging. You take out the Cobra tanks, and then you have to, like, take out each side of the Cloudburst tank and run away because you can't hurt him. This was a really well done boss fight for a Batmobile. It was fun. It was great. It was intense. This is difficult too. Come on now. Like, this is difficult. This is a fun boss fight. I would put this in A. Don't sleep on the Cloudburst tank. This was a fun boss fight. And the build up to was really good. The ending of it was really well done. Really good placement in the story. Like, it was good. This is good. This is A. What is this? Oh yeah, the driller thing where you're fighting underground with the Arkham Knight. This is like B, maybe C. Cause what I remember is, like, you just kind of wait around at the end of the tunnel, wait for him to see you, and then you let him chase you until he blows up by those bombs. This is like B. That's like high C. This is like not that good. It wasn't that memorable of a boss fight, not compared to Cloudburst Tank. Yeah, it's like C. Just like the Arkham Knight boss fight was also kind of a C. This is a letdown, dude. I wanted to fight 1v1, like, hand v hand combat with the Arkham Knight. You never really get that in this game for some reason, which is so dumb. This is disappointing. It wasn't that fun to do, honestly. It was challenging, but it wasn't that fun to do. It's not memorable for an Arkham Knight, like, finale to fight him, you know? Yeah. I mean, the ending was cool where Jason was, like, you know, blame Batman for making him, you know, be the cause of pain for Jason. That was really cool, but as a boss fight, I can't put this in A, definitely not. Maybe B? Nah, I wouldn't. Professor Pig, one of Batman's most psychotic villains. Build-up was really cool. This build-up was like the creepiest and one of the most eeriest, right? This was memorable. People remember Professor Pig after Arkham Knight. Wasn't that good of a boss fight, though. I mean, no, it kind of was. It kind of was. I put him low B. I actually like Professor Pig. The thing is, like, the Dolatrons, you had to, like, you do, like, takedowns to take him out. Ground takedowns or, like, you know, like, special takedowns in order to, like, keep him on the ground. And then he throws, like, knives at you, which you have to, like, deflect. A little bit of challenge, not too much. And you have to environment takedown him onto, like, that gurney or whatever it was, and then, like, just hit him in the head. That was cool. Great build-up. Very good villain. Like, good choice for Arkham Knight. Definitely scary, in a sense. This is good. I think he's a B. Not as challenging, but I think his whole demeanor and character and for a boss fight was really well done. Firefly side mission in Arkham Knight. I say it's B. I actually kind of like chasing around with the Batmobile. It's kind of fun. I think it's the graphics of the Arkham Knight, because Arkham Knight's graphics are phenomenal. And just driving around the beautiful city, trying to chase down this pyromaniac was good. Was well done. Arkham Knight's Firefly was good to B. Wouldn't say it's A. Wouldn't put it up with these guys. But I would say it's A, above Professor Pig. Really fun. I liked it. Deathstroke is Electrocutioner tier. Below Electrocutioner. This is like the most... It's so weird because Arkham Knight is such a well done game and it does so much justice and does so good for each character. But then you get to Deathstroke, which is just a tank fight. Deathstroke is a tank fight. And then he jumps out of the tank and Batman just grabs him midair and punches him once on his helmet, by the way, not even his head, and knocks him out. It's the stupidest and most disrespectful thing I've ever seen happen to Slade in a minute. And there's been some disrespectful things that have happened to Slade before. This is up there, probably the best. Like, this is so bad. You're fighting him in a tank. Why would he ever do that? That doesn't make zero sense for the character. He wouldn't fight you in an army of tanks. He would fight you on a rooftop or somewhere random, like hand-via-hand combat. You know, it was so disappointing because everyone thought we were gonna fight him without tanks. And when you get to the tank fight, you're like, what the fuck? Like, this is the stupidest thing ever. This is worse than Electrocutioner. At least Electrocutioner makes sense because he's garbage, but Deathstroke did not deserve that. That was the most spit-in-the-face thing I've ever seen from the Arkham series. They're so high quality and so well done. This is the worst thing, like, all 4 games, in my opinion. Out of all the 4 games, I think this is, like, the worst thing I've ever seen in the Arkham games. This is so disrespectful. I hate this. It actually kind of makes me, like, mad how poorly done he was done in this game. He would just seem like such a tack on and such a throwaway. It was so disappointing. He is Electrocutioner tier. That boss fight, I'm sorry. And he's one of my favorite villains too, so it just hurts that much more. He was so ass as a villain. And the boss fight, I guess, itself was kind of fun, because it's like another Cloudburst tank fight. But since it's Deathstroke and it makes zero sense. Zero sense, literally 0 sense. I'm not putting it there. Deathstroke wouldn't just like let Batman take him to the jail cell like that, like how he does with any other villain, you know? He's not like any other villain. He can kill a million people in one room. Like, it's so dumb. I hate this. Oh my god. Okay, Riddler's boss fight is actually kind of fun. I'd put this in A. Arkham Knight gets an A tier boss fight. I mean, you have the Cloudburst thing too. But Arkham Knight Riddler was cool because they're robots. You can't kill all of them. You have to switch between Batman and Catwoman, which made it more fun because you play as Batman and Catwoman. And then you have to like fight his robot thing and jump onto him and like just punch him in the face. It's very satisfying too because you collect all the Riddler trophies and then you get to him and then you take him down. This was a good boss fight. I'd put like right here. Beating Riddler is one of the most satisfying things in the Arkham games, and the Arkham games do it well here. This is a good A tier boss fight in my opinion. I enjoyed it. Nightwing and Harley Quinn's Revenge. Is this even a boss fight? I guess I'll count it. It's not, bro. He's not as challenging. We'll just say he is, and we'll put him in D. He's like a D tier boss fight. He's not that good. As Harley Quinn, you just kind of jump behind him and just hit him in the back. He's stupid. Disrespectful to Nightwing, by the way. Like, he would not fold like that. That's so stupid. But it is what it is. Black Mask versus Red Hood. This is like D. Okay, I'm only putting these 2 in D because they're really iconic characters and they're really cool. But it's like don't count kind of too, right? You can either put in don't count or D tier. These are like D tier because they're not really like that difficult. They're like regular henchmen you're fighting, but yeah. Joker and Harley in the Matter Family DLC. This is pretty cool. I put this in C. I put it in C because like the costumes are really cool. They're way more colorful. It's like more and more animated series episode from like, you know, like a Batman TV show. And the boss fight itself had a little bit more challenge to it when you have to fight them both. So I put this in C. Not as memorable though. Definitely not up here. Maybe it is up here. Nah, I wouldn't put it up here. Still memorable though. It'd be above these guys. It'd be like high C, like the first in C. Killer Croc in the Season of Infamy DLC in the Arkham games. I would put this B, because the horror aspect's really there. Like Killer Croc, I would put him in low B because the whole horror aspect was really good. He was kind of a similar boss fight, the boss fight with the dual play, but Nightwing or Batman were really cool fight animations against him. It was kind of challenging in a way because it was more of a smaller room. I guess it wasn't really that small, but you know, like a bunch of goons running around. He can like, Killer Croc can make him come back from being knocked out, which is pretty funny. A little bigger, a little creepier, a little scarier. The whole aesthetic was really well done. I think it's a low B. I think Killer Croc's a low B boss fight. Black Mask, very bad. This is a very bad boss fight. I'll just put it D. Like all these 3 can be don't counts. Like Black Mask is kind of a don't count here, but I'll just put him in D because he's Black Mask. He's a Batman villain. Mad Hatter from Arkham Origins, very memorable in my opinion. He was way more twisted than a lot of people would give him credit for. I'd put this like in C though, because he wasn't that difficult at all. He's just kind of going through a maze, and he fights some henchmen in the beginning. Like low C. Low C just because he's very memorable as a boss fight. He was very creepy and eerie the things he did. So yeah. That's it, right? Yeah, so this is the final tier list. This is ordered S. I think this is ordered how it should be. I think Poison Ivy is actually right here. I like Firefly more than Poison Ivy in my opinion. That's just me though. But yeah, this is ordered. I think you could definitely change things. I don't know how controversial this tier list would be. Because I know like maybe some people are like, what is this tier list? It looks so stupid. These aren't boss fights to me. They don't count. I think this is a boss. I forget what this is. I don't know what this guy is. I'm just blanking out on him. So if it's something like an important boss fight that's not like a henchman guy, let me know in the comments. But yeah, Deathstroke, worst boss fight of the Arkham series by far, easily 100%. You cannot change my mind otherwise, at all. I think these are all good B's. C's, yeah, sounds about right. D's, yep, all sound about right too. Electrocution tier, yeah. I think, yeah, this is my final tier list. Let me know what you guys think, because I actually want to hear what everyone else's thoughts are. It's actually exciting to do. I liked it, so if you enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe, all that stuff. I upload daily, especially on shorts. I upload daily shorts. I don't upload daily videos because, just I'm lazy. But yeah, I'll try to be more active more progressive on my YouTube channel. So thank you guys for watching and have a good day. Goodbye, people.